The meeting room of the Stellar Alliance headquarters was quiet, except for the soft hum of air filters. 27 different alien species had lived in peace for over 300 years. None of them came from harsh worlds. Their home planets were gentle places with mild weather, few natural disasters, and almost no dangerous animals. Ambassador Trell of the Luminary species led today's meeting. His skin glowed with a soft blue light as he spoke about trade routes and resource sharing. The other representatives listened politely. Some took notes. A few fought to stay awake during the boring discussion. No one expected what happened next. A harsh, loud noise cut through the calm of the meeting room. Every screen on the walls flashed red. The emergency alert system had activated for the first time in 50 years. "What is happening?" Trell asked, his blue glow turning purple with alarm. Officer Lumi rushed to the main control panel. Her 6 fingers flew across the screen as she tried to find the source of the alert. "It's a distress call," she said, her voice shaking. "Coming from the Florian research station in the outer systems." The message played on all screens. "Under attack. Heavy casualties. Need immediate assistance. Coordinates attached." The room erupted in panic. The Florians were among the gentlest species in the Alliance. They looked like walking plants with delicate green skin and leaf-like hair. They avoided conflict at all costs. Who would attack them? "We must send help right away," said Representative Mako. He was from the Aquarian waterworlds. His fish-like face showed genuine concern for the Florians. Admiral Orb moved to the front of the room. The old military leader's scales had faded from bright red to dull orange over his long career. He raised a clawed hand for silence. "This could be a trap," he warned. "If attackers are still there, our rescue ships would be in danger. None of our vessels are built for combat. The Alliance had no true warships. They had not fought a war in over 200 years. Their ships carried minimal weapons, just enough to deflect space debris or scare away the rare space pirate." "The Florians are studying a new energy source," said Trell. "Perhaps someone wanted to steal it." Officer Lumi gasped suddenly. All eyes turned to her. "Another ship has changed course to respond to the distress call," she said. Her voice had dropped to a whisper. "It's coming from the restricted zone." The room fell silent. Everyone knew what lived in the restricted zone. Humans. The Alliance had discovered Earth 50 years ago. They studied the planet from a safe distance and were horrified by what they found. Earth was classified as a Category 5 death world. Its gravity was too strong. Its weather was violent and unpredictable. Dangerous animals roamed freely. And the dominant species, humans, had survived it all. Humans were nightmares made real to the Alliance species. They had dense muscles and strong bones. They could survive injuries that would kill most Alliance members. Their immune systems attacked unknown substances with shocking aggression. They could eat foods that would poison other species. They even enjoyed bitter and spicy tastes that would cause most aliens severe pain. Worst of all, humans had a long history of warfare. They fought each other constantly throughout their history. They developed weapons specifically to kill each other. While the Alliance was building its peaceful union, humans were perfecting ways to destroy themselves. The Alliance Council decided that humans were too dangerous to contact. They placed Earth under quarantine. No Alliance ship was allowed near the solar system. No communication was permitted. It was safer to leave the Deathworlders alone on their violent planet. But now, a human ship was heading toward the Florian outpost. "How did they get a ship that far from Earth?" asked Representative Mako. "The quarantine boys should have stopped them." "We underestimated them," said Admiral Orb. His voice was grim. "They must have built better ships than we thought possible." "Officer," Lumi pulled up the ship's information on the main screen. "It's called the UES Defender," she said. "UES stands for United Earth Ship. It's moving at..." "That can't be right." "What is it?" demanded Trell. "It's moving faster than our fastest ships," she said. "It will reach the Florian outpost in hours, not days." The council members looked at each other in shock. Alliance technology was supposed to be far superior to human technology. How had the humans built such a fast ship without anyone noticing? We must warn the Florians, said Trell. The humans could be worse than whoever attacked them. It's too late, said Officer Lumi. All communication with the outpost is down, and the human ship will arrive long before any of our vessels could get there. Admiral Orb paced the room, his claws clicking on the floor. We know almost nothing about human behavior in space. We don't know their intentions. Their ship is called Defender, pointed out Representative Mako. That suggests they want to help, not harm. Or it's a trick, said another council member. A predator in disguise. Trell made a decision. We will send our fastest ship to the Florian outpost. We need to know what happens when the humans arrive. The nearest Alliance vessel was the Observer, a science ship studying a nearby gas giant. It wasn't designed for rescue or combat, but it had good sensors and a skilled crew. Captain Plex, an experienced luminary like Trell, received the emergency orders with surprise. Humans? He asked during the secure transmission. Are you certain? Yes, said Trell. Do not engage them. Just watch and report. We need to know what they do. The Observer changed course immediately. It would take 2 days to reach the Florian outpost. By then, the humans would have been there for over a day. Back at Alliance headquarters, the Council set up an emergency command center. They gathered all available information about humans. It wasn't much. Most of their data came from intercepted broadcasts and long-distance observation. Humans evolved as pursuit predators, explained a xenobiologist named Dr. Finn. Her presentation showed images of early humans chasing animals across open plains. They can keep running for hours. They don't give up. They live in groups and protect each other fiercely, added a cultural expert. They form strong bonds even with strangers. And they're curious, said a behavior specialist. They explore constantly, even when it's dangerous. Admiral Orb looked troubled. So they're pack hunters with too much endurance and no fear. And now they have a fast ship with unknown capabilities. Officer Lumi's console beeped. The human ship has increased speed again. They must be pushing their engines beyond safety limits. Why? Asked Trell. Why risk their ship for aliens they've never met? No one had an answer. For the next few hours, the Council could only wait and watch as the UES Defender raced toward the Florian outpost. The humans were coming, and no one knew what would happen when they arrived. The Florians are peaceful researchers, said Representative Mako softly. They wouldn't harm anyone. It's not the Florians I'm worried about, replied Admiral Orb. It's what the humans might do when they find the outpost damaged and the Florians hurt or dead. What will Deathworlders do when they witness the aftermath? Of violence? Trell's glow dimmed with worry. We're about to find out. The UES Defender dropped out of faster-than-light travel near the Florian research outpost. The human ship was not large, but its design was unlike any Alliance vessel. It had a sleek, predatory look with armor plating and visible weapon ports. This was a ship built for danger. On the bridge, Captain Jack stood from his command chair and studied the view screen. The Florian outpost floated ahead, a once beautiful structure now broken and dark. Parts of it were torn open to space. Debris floated around it like a cloud of metal tears. Life signs? Jack asked. His voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. Navigator Ben checked his scanner and nodded. Yes, Captain. Faint readings. I count 12 survivors. There should be 48 staff according to the station plans. The humans had intercepted enough Alliance communications over the years to learn about the different species. They knew the Florians were plant-like beings who studied energy sources and avoided conflict. What happened here? Asked Medical Officer Rose. She had already gathered her emergency kit, ready to help the survivors. Security Chief Alex studied the damage patterns on the screen. His trained eye saw what others might miss. This wasn't random. Look at the impact. Points. Communications first, then defense systems, then life support. The attackers knew exactly what they were doing. Pirates, said Jack. He had seen this before. They hit fast, disable the target, and take what they want. Engineer Max checked the radiation readings and frowned. "Captain, the station is leaking. Radiation from their research labs. It's hitting dangerous levels in some sections." "How dangerous?" asked Jack. "For Florians?" "Lethal within minutes," said Max. "For us, uncomfortable but manageable for a few hours." The humans looked at each other. They knew they were different from the Alliance species. Earth's higher radiation levels, stronger gravity, and harsher conditions had made humans tougher. What would kill a Florian would merely hurt a human. "Prep the shuttle," ordered Jack. "Full rescue team. Basic radiation gear only. We need to move fast." As the crew prepared for the rescue mission, Jack sent a message to Earth Command. "Found damaged Alliance station. Survivors present. Proceeding with rescue. Will update." He knew this would change everything. Humans had respected the Alliance's quarantine for years, watching and learning from a distance, but they couldn't ignore a distress call. It wasn't in their nature to let others suffer when they could help. The rescue shuttle launched from the Defender. Inside were Jack, Alex, Rose, and 4 security team members. They wore light radiation suits that would have been useless to Alliance species, but provided enough protection for humans. The shuttle docked with the damaged station. The airlock was broken, so they had to cut their way in. "Atmosphere is thin but breathable," reported Alex after scanning the air. "Temperature is dropping. Power systems are failing." "Spread out in pairs," ordered Jack. "Find survivors. Be careful. The attackers might still be here." The humans moved through the damaged station with practiced efficiency. Years of training for space emergencies had prepared them for this moment. They stepped over broken equipment and floated through sections exposed to space with ease that would have amazed Alliance observers. Rose found the first survivor, a Florian engineer trapped under fallen equipment. The alien's green skin had paled and the leaf-like hair was wilting. "I've got one," Rose called over the comm. "Alive but injured." The Florian's eyes widened in fear when it saw Rose. The alien had never seen a human before, but it recognized the species from Alliance warning files. A Deathworlder was standing over it, a creature evolved from predators. "It's okay," said Rose gently, using the Alliance common language she had learned from intercepted communications. "I'm here to help. I'm a doctor." The Florian was too weak to resist as Rose carefully lifted the debris and administered emergency medical care. The alien was surprised by the human's gentle touch despite her obvious strength. In another section, Jack found what appeared to be the station's control room. Most of the equipment was destroyed, but one Florian was still alive. By the special markings on its clothing, Jack guessed this was the station's leader. "Help has arrived," Jack said, kneeling beside the injured alien. "We'll get you to safety." The Florian leader, Director Root, stared at Jack with a mixture of fear and wonder. You're human," Root whispered. Its voice was weak but clear. "Yes," said Jack. "We received your distress call." "Why did you come?" asked Root. "The Alliance forbids contact with Earth. Someone needed help," said Jack simply, as if that explained everything. As Jack helped Root to a safer area, the Florian leader struggled to speak again. "The collectors," Root said. "They took our research, and my people." "Collectors?" asked Jack. "Is that what you call the attackers?" "It's what they call themselves," said Root. "They collect rare things, technology, resources, and specimens." Jack's expression darkened. "They took your people as specimens?" Root nodded weakly. "The energy source we discovered, they wanted it. But they also took 20 of my researchers." Live captures. Meanwhile, the rescue team had found more survivors. Some were trapped in sealed emergency chambers. Others had hidden in maintenance tunnels. All were injured and frightened, especially when they saw their rescuers were humans. "The radiation levels are rising," warned Alex over the comm. "We need to move these people soon or they won't make it." "Bring them to the shuttle," ordered Jack. "Rose, what's their medical status?" "Not good," replied Rose. "Their bodies are more fragile than ours. The radiation is affecting them badly. They need specialized care." The Defender has a medical bay, said Jack. We've studied Alliance physiology. We can help them until their own people arrive. By the time all 12 survivors were loaded onto the shuttle, the humans were feeling the effects of the radiation themselves. Their skin was reddened, and they felt nauseous. But they kept working, carrying Florians who couldn't walk and securing them safely for transport. Back on the Defender, Rose and her medical team worked to stabilize the Florians. The aliens were surprised by the human medical bay. It was designed to handle traumatic injuries and harsh conditions that Alliance medics rarely encountered. Jack called a meeting with his senior officers and Director Root, who was the least injured of the Florians. The Alliance will send help. Eventually, said Jack. But we need to know more about these collectors. They didn't just steal technology, they took your people. Root nodded sadly. They have attacked other outposts before. They take what they want and disappear. The Alliance has never been able to track them. We found this, said Alex, placing a small device on the table. It's part of their communication system. It's still transmitting a signal. Can we track it? Asked Jack. Max nodded. Already working on it, Captain. I think I can trace their course. Why would you help us? Asked Root. The Alliance has kept your people isolated, treated you as dangerous. Jack looked at the alien leader. My great-grandmother used to say that when someone's house is burning, you don't ask if they like you before you help put out the fire. Rose entered the meeting room with a medical update. The Florians are stable, but 4 are in critical condition. They need specialized care soon. And the others who were taken, asked Jack. How long can they survive as captives? Root's leaf-like hair drooped. Not long. Our bodies are not made for stress or harsh conditions. The collectors do not treat specimens gently. Jack made his decision. We're going after them. We'll rescue your people and recover your research. The Florians looked at Jack in shock. These humans, creatures the Alliance feared as violent and unpredictable, were volunteering to risk their lives for aliens they had just met. Alliance protocol requires me to contact headquarters before proceeding, said Root. The nearest Alliance ship is still a day away, said Ben. The trail will be cold by then. Jack stood up. We respect Alliance rules, Director Root. But right. Now your people's lives are in danger. We can help. Will you let us? Root looked at the determined faces of the human crew. Perhaps the Alliance had been wrong about Deathworlders. Perhaps there was more to humans than their physical strength and violent history. Yes, said Root finally. Please save my people. The UES Defender followed the signal from the collector's ship through space. Captain Jack stood on the bridge watching as Navigator Ben plotted their course. They're heading into the Razor Belt, said Ben with surprise. The Razor Belt was a massive asteroid field. Thousands of jagged rocks tumbled through space, smashing into each other and creating even more dangerous debris. Alliance ships avoided this area completely. Their navigation systems couldn't handle the constantly changing paths of the asteroids. Can we follow them? Asked Jack. Engineer Max nodded confidently. Earth ships are built for worse conditions. Our navigation system updates 10 times faster than Alliance tech. He grinned. We trained in Saturn's rings, remember? This is just a bit more crowded. Director Root had insisted on joining the pursuit despite still recovering from injuries. The Florian leader watched the humans with growing amazement. None of them seemed worried about flying into what Alliance pilots called certain death. No Alliance vessel would attempt this, Root said quietly. The risk is too great. For us, it's Tuesday, joked Security Chief Alex. When Root looked confused, Alex added, It means this is normal for us. Earth has many dangers. We adapt. The Defender slipped into the asteroid field with careful precision. Ben's hands moved quickly over the navigation controls, adjusting their course with each new scan. Occasionally, a smaller rock would hit the ship's hull with a dull thud, but the armor held. How are you so calm? Root asked Rose as another asteroid passed by, missing them by meters. Rose smiled gently. On Earth we have hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions. Space rocks are just one more thing to deal with. For 3 days they tracked the collectors through the Razor Belt. The human crew worked in shifts, always alert, always ready. They ate strange food that Root couldn't identify and drank a bitter black liquid they called coffee that seemed to keep them awake for hours. On the third day, Ben called out from his station, "Captain, I found something." Everyone gathered around his screen. Hidden among the largest asteroids was a structure too regular to be natural. "It's a base," said Jack. "They've hollowed out an asteroid and built inside it." Alex studied the scans. "No wonder the Alliance couldn't find them. It's completely hidden unless you're right on top of it." "I'm detecting multiple ships docked inside," added Ben, "including the one that attacked the Florian outpost." "Can you scan for life signs?" asked Root anxiously. "Are my people still alive?" Ben adjusted the sensors. "I'm picking up many different life forms. It's hard to separate them at this distance, but there are definitely Florians in there and others too." "Others?" asked Jack. "Different species," confirmed Ben. I think this is more than just a pirate base. It's some kind of collection facility." The implications sank in. The collectors weren't just pirates stealing technology. They were taking people from across the galaxy. Jack called his senior officers to the conference room to plan their approach. Director Root joined them, still struggling with the concept of humans voluntarily heading into danger. "We need to do this quietly," said Jack. "Get in, locate the captives and the stolen research. Get out. Their security will be tight," warned Alex. "I recommend a small team. Just enough of us to handle threats, but not so many that we can't move quickly." "We'll need a distraction," suggested Max. "Something to draw their attention while the rescue team gets inside." Rose looked concerned. "The captive Florians may be in bad shape. We should be prepared for medical emergencies." Jack nodded. "Okay. Alex, Rose, Max, you're with me on the boarding team. Ben will stay here and fly the ship. We'll use shuttle. 2, it's smaller and has stealth capabilities." "I want to come too," said Root. "Those are my people." Jack looked at the Florian leader. Root was still weak from injuries, and Florians weren't built for combat. But Jack understood the need to help one's own people. "You can come, but you stay with Rose at all times," he said firmly. "Your knowledge of Florian physiology will help." Rose care for the rescued captives. As they prepared for the mission, Jack briefed the team on the plan. Max would create a distraction by launching small probes that would interfere with the base's external sensors. Meanwhile, the rescue team would dock at a maintenance airlock on the asteroid's dark side. "We go in quiet. We find the captives. We get out," Jack repeated. "No unnecessary risks." The team suited up in light combat gear. The humans checked their equipment with practiced movements, while Root awkwardly adjusted a protective vest Rose had modified to fit Florian anatomy. "Your people really do prepare for everything," Root commented, watching Alex check his weapons. "On Earth, the unexpected is what we expect," replied Alex. "Not being ready means not surviving." The small shuttle detached from the Defender and moved silently toward the asteroid base. Max launched the distraction probes, which immediately began broadcasting conflicting signals. Alarms would be going off inside the base, but in all the wrong areas. They reached the maintenance airlock without being detected. Max used portable equipment to bypass the lock controls, and the door slid open. "We're in," whispered Jack. "Stay close. Rose and Root in the middle. Alex and I will take point. Max, watch our backs." The inside of the asteroid was surprisingly large. The collectors had carved out extensive tunnels and chambers throughout the rock. The lighting was dim, with an eerie blue glow that made shadows stretch like grasping hands. Alex pointed to markings on the wall, a basic map of the facility. "There," he whispered. "Holding area, 2 levels down." They moved through the facility, carefully. Twice they had to hide as collector guards passed by. The aliens were tall, with 4 arms and dark gray skin. They wore light armor and carried energy weapons. "I've never seen this species before," whispered Root. "They're not part of the Alliance." "Probably from beyond Alliance space," suggested Rose. "There's a whole galaxy out there we know nothing about." When they reached the holding area, they found it divided into sections. Each section contained different species, held behind energy barriers. The captives looked weak and frightened. "There are my people," Root pointed to a section where several Florians huddled together. Their green skin had turned pale, and their leaf-like hair was wilting badly. "And there's more," said Jack grimly, looking at the other cells. "Aquarians, Luminari, all Alliance species." "This isn't just a pirate operation," said Max. "It's a full-scale abduction program." Rose checked her scanner. "The captives are in poor condition, dehydrated, malnourished. The Florians are the worst. They need light and water urgently." "We need to shut down the energy barriers," said Jack. "Max?" Max examined the control panel. "I can do it, but it will trigger alarms. We'll deal with that when it happens." "Do it." Max bypassed the security and shut down the barriers. Immediately, alarms began to wail throughout the facility. "We've got company coming," warned Alex, as his scanner picked up multiple signals converging on their position. Rose and Root hurried to the Florian captives. "We're here to rescue you," Root explained quickly. "These humans are helping us." The captive Florians were too weak to move quickly. Jack and his team would have to carry them. "Max, find the research data," ordered Jack as he lifted 2 Florians. "We need that too." Max accessed a nearby terminal. "Got it, Captain. They've been analyzing the energy source. It's incredible. This could revolutionize space travel." "Download everything and let's go," said Jack. Just as they were organizing the captives for evacuation, the first collector guards appeared. Alex fired a warning shot that forced them to take cover. "We need a new exit route," said Jack. "Our entry point is blocked." Max checked his scanner. "There's a docking bay 1 level up. If we can get there, we might be able to steal a ship." "Or call the Defender for pickup," added Jack. "Ben can bring her close enough." As they moved toward the docking bay, more guards attacked. Alex and Jack protected the group while Rose and Root helped the weakened captives. Max worked frantically to open doors and seal them behind the group. They reached a large open chamber just before the docking bay. It was some kind of processing center with examination tables and strange equipment, and it was full of collector workers. "Stop right there," ordered one who appeared to be the leader. "Those specimens belong to us." Jack stepped forward. "They're not specimens. They're people. And they're coming with us." The collector leader seemed amused. "You're human," it observed. "We've wanted to add your species to our collection. Deathworlders are rare and valuable. Sorry to disappoint." "You," said Jack. "But humans don't collect well." As the collectors moved to surround them, a sudden explosion rocked the facility. The lights flickered, and emergency sirens joined the alarms. "What was that?" demanded the collector leader. Jack smiled. "That would be our ship. I think you'll find your defense systems are failing." Ben's voice came through their comm units. "Defender to rescue team. I've disabled their main power core. Docking bay shields are down. I'm coming in to get you." The collector leader snarled and raised its weapon. "You'll never leave this facility." "You'll never leave this facility." The collector leader raised its weapon at Captain Jack. Before the alien could fire, Alex moved with surprising speed. He tackled Jack out of the way as energy blasts hit the wall behind them. The other collectors began shooting too. "Everyone take cover," shouted Jack, pulling 2 weakened Florians behind a large metal container. The rescue team and freed captives scattered, hiding behind equipment as the collectors continued firing. Rose and Root helped the injured aliens while Max worked frantically on a nearby control panel. "Max, what are you doing?" Jack called over the noise of weapon fire. "Trying to shut down their weapons," Max replied, his fingers flying over the alien technology. "Their systems are strange, but I think I can—" Suddenly, the lights in the facility flickered. The collector's weapons powered down with a dying whine. "Got it?" Max grinned. "Rerouted power from their weapons to life support. They can fix it, but it'll take time." Alex didn't wait. He charged forward, knocking aside 2 surprised collectors. Jack followed, clearing a path toward the docking bay doors. "Move now," Jack ordered. "Everyone to the docking bay." The group rushed forward, the humans carrying Florians too weak to run. The collectors tried to stop them with physical force, but the humans were stronger. Even Rose, the medical officer, easily pushed aside a collector who tried to grab her. They reached the docking bay just as the massive doors opened. The UES Defender hovered outside, its entry ramp extended like a welcoming hand. "Go, go, go," Jack urged, helping the freed captives aboard. The collector leader appeared at the bay entrance, holding an emergency weapon that still worked. "You're stealing our property," it shouted. Root turned to face the alien. Though still weak, the Florian stood as tall as possible. "People are not property," Root said firmly. "The Alliance will know what you've done here." The collector laughed, a harsh sound like grinding metal. "The Alliance, they're too weak to stop us. They don't even know we exist." "But we do," said Jack, stepping beside Root. "And now we're going to tell them everything." The collector aimed its weapon at Jack, but before it could fire, the Defender's defensive systems activated. A precise energy pulse hit the weapon, melting. The collector dropped the hot metal with a cry of pain. "Time to go," said Jack, guiding Root up the ramp. Once everyone was aboard, the Defender pulled away from the asteroid base. Max had downloaded all the data about the Florian energy research and the collector's operation. More importantly, all 20 missing Florians and 35 other Alliance species had been rescued. Rose immediately set up a treatment area in the ship's cargo bay. She and Root worked together to care for the weakened aliens. "They'll recover," Rose told Jack after her initial assessments. "The Florians need special light and nutrients, but we can create what they need." "Good," said Jack. "What about the base? Did we get everything we needed?" Max nodded excitedly. "More than we expected, Captain. I downloaded their entire database. The collectors aren't just random pirates, they're an organized operation. They've been studying Alliance species for years. And that's not all," added Ben from his navigation station. "According to their flight plans, they have a mothership. It's huge, Captain, and it's heading toward Alliance headquarters." This news silenced the bridge. Even the rescued aliens looked up in alarm. "Are they planning an attack?" asked Jack. "It looks that way," confirmed Max, examining the data. "They've been gathering information about Alliance defense systems, identifying weaknesses. Their mothership carries enough firepower to overwhelm the entire Alliance security fleet." Director Root looked horrified. "We must warn the Alliance immediately." Jack nodded. "Set course for Alliance headquarters, maximum speed. We need to get there before the collectors." As the Defender accelerated to faster-than-light travel, Jack called a meeting with his officers and Director Root. They needed to plan their approach carefully. Humans had never officially contacted the Alliance before. "They might not believe us," warned Alex, "or they might see us as the greater threat." "We have evidence," said Max, pointing to the data they'd recovered. "And we have rescued Alliance citizens who can speak for us." Root agreed. "I will tell them how you saved us, but the Council will be afraid when they see humans for the first time." "Can't be helped," said Jack. "The warning is too important to delay." The Defender reached Alliance space 3 days later. As they approached the headquarters, a beautiful, ring-shaped station orbiting a neutral star, they began broadcasting on all Alliance frequencies. "This is Captain Jack of the United Earth Ship Defender. We are carrying rescued Alliance citizens and critical information about an imminent attack. Request permission to approach." The response was immediate and anxious. "UES Defender, you are in restricted space. Identify the Alliance citizens aboard." Director Root took over communications. "This is Director Root of the Florian Science Division. The humans rescued me and many others from captivity. They have vital information about an enemy called the Collectors who plan to attack headquarters. You must listen to them." There was a long pause before the reply came. "Maintain position. A security vessel will escort you to a safe docking area." As they waited, the humans prepared for their first official meeting with the Alliance Council. They wore their formal uniforms and tried to look as non-threatening as possible. "Remember," Jack told his crew, "they've been taught to fear us. Move slowly, speak calmly, and give them space." When they finally docked and the airlocks opened, they were met by a group of heavily armed security officers from multiple species. Admiral Orb himself led them, his orange scales now pale with stress. "Director Root," he said, ignoring the humans completely. "Are you and the other rescued citizens well?" Yes, Admiral, Root replied. Thanks entirely to these humans who risked their lives to save us. Admiral Orb finally looked at Jack and his crew. The humans were taller and more solidly built than most Alliance species. Their confident posture and alert eyes marked them as predators by evolution. But they stood perfectly still, allowing the Alliance security team to scan them for weapons. Captain Jack, Orb said formally, your presence here violates multiple Alliance protocols. We're aware, Admiral, Jack replied calmly, but the situation is urgent. You claim the collectors are planning to attack our headquarters, said Orb skeptically. How convenient that only humans know of this threat. Max stepped forward, holding a data device. We have their attack plans, fleet positions, and weapons specifications, all taken directly from their base. Before Orb could respond, alarms began sounding throughout the station. A communications officer rushed up to the Admiral. Sir, long-range sensors have detected a large vessel entering the system. It matches no known Alliance design. Jack gave Orb a grim look. That would be the Collector mothership. It's arrived earlier than we expected. The Admiral's skepticism vanished instantly. How many ships do you have following you, Captain? Just the Defender, replied Jack. Earth sent us to explore, not to start a war. One ship? Orb's scales flushed with alarm. You came to face the Collectors with one ship? It's a good ship, said Jack simply. The Alliance Council convened an emergency session. The chamber was large and elegant, with representatives from all 27 species seated in rising tiers. They watched with a mixture of fear and curiosity. As the humans entered, Ambassador Trell of the Luminari led the session. His blue glow pulsed with anxiety as Jack approached the central platform. Captain Jack of Earth, Trell began formally. You stand before the Alliance Council in direct violation of the Earth Containment Protocol. However, given the current situation, we will hear your warning. Jack uploaded the data they had gathered to the main display. Images of the Collector mothership appeared, along with detailed analysis of its capabilities. The Collectors have been operating beyond Alliance space for years, Jack explained. They see other species as specimens to be collected and studied. The recent attack on the Florian Research Station was part of their larger plan to test Alliance response times and defense capabilities. Max added technical details about the Collectors' weapons and shields, while Rose reported on their treatment of captives. The Council listened with growing alarm. Why would you risk yourselves to bring us this warning? Asked Representative Mako. The Alliance has not been welcoming to humans. Jack's answer was simple. Because it was the right thing to do. Before Trell could respond, the chamber's emergency system activated. Admiral Orb's voice came through the speakers. The Collector vessel has entered orbit. They're launching smaller ships toward the station. Ambassador Trell looked at Jack with new understanding. We have no combat vessels here. Our fleet is spread across 3 sectors. The Defender is ready, said Jack. Let us help you. The Council chamber erupted in debate. Allow Deathworlders to fight on their behalf? Trust creatures whose evolutionary path was shaped by violence? As they argued, the first impact shook the station. The Collectors had begun their attack. The Alliance headquarters shook as another blast hit. The beautiful ring-shaped station had never been designed for battle. Its shields were failing fast. In the Council chamber, Ambassador Trell made a quick decision. Captain Jack, we accept your help. Please do what you can. Jack nodded firmly. We'll buy you time to evacuate civilians. He turned to his crew. Back to the Defender, maximum speed. As the humans ran toward their ship, Admiral Orb followed. What can one vessel possibly do against the Collector mothership? He asked. It's 10 times your size. Size isn't everything, Admiral, replied Jack. Humans know a few things about fighting against bigger enemies. The UES Defender detached from the station and moved to engage the Collector fleet. The human ship was smaller than the Collector mothership, but it moved with incredible speed and precision. Target their fighter craft first, ordered Jack from the captain's chair. We need to stop them from boarding the station. Ben's hands flew across the navigation controls, maneuvering the Defender through enemy fire. Alex managed weapons, targeting the smaller collector ships with deadly accuracy. From the Alliance station, the council members watched in amazement. They had never seen combat tactics like this. The human ship didn't run or hide. It attacked directly, drawing enemy fire away. From the station, "They're protecting us," whispered Representative Mako in awe. "They're making themselves the target." On the Defender, the situation was tense but controlled. The humans worked with practiced efficiency, calling out reports and adjustments without panic. "Shields at 70%, reported Max from engineering. "I'm rerouting power to strengthen them." "2 enemy fighters down," called Alex, "but more are launching from the mothership." Jack studied the tactical display. "Their mothership is staying back, letting the fighters do the work. That means something important is on board. Something they don't want to risk. Or someone," suggested Rose. The collector leader called the captives specimens. "What if they have more?" Jack made a quick decision. "New plan. We need to get aboard that mothership." "How?" asked Ben. "Their shields are too strong for our transporters. We make them let us in," said Jack with a grim smile. "Max, can you create a feedback loop in our shield generators? Make it look like we're about to have a catastrophic overload." Max understood immediately. "You want them to think we're going to explode? That our shields are failing and our reactor is going critical?" "Exactly. They want specimens, right? They'll try to capture us before we blow up." The plan was risky, but they had no better options. Max created the false readings while Ben positioned the Defender for a direct approach to the mothership, as if they were making a desperate attack run. Inside the collector mothership, the commander watched the human ship with growing interest. Their sensors showed the Defender's shields failing and energy readings becoming unstable. "The human vessel is damaged," reported a collector officer. "They appear to be losing containment on their power core." "Capture that ship," ordered the commander. "Deathworlders are the rarest specimens in our collection. We must have them before their vessel destroys itself." The mothership extended its tractor beam, pulling the Defender toward a docking bay. Just as Jack had predicted, the collectors wanted to salvage the humans before the ship exploded. "It's working," said Ben. "They're bringing us in." Jack turned to his team. "Alex, Rose, you're with me. We'll board the mothership and find their control center. Max and Ben, stay with the ship. Be ready for a quick exit." Before leaving, Jack contacted the Alliance station. "We're boarding the collector mothership. Continue evacuating civilians and prepare your defense teams. We'll try to disable them from inside." Admiral Orb was stunned. "You're deliberately entering the enemy vessel? That's suicide." "That's strategy, Admiral," replied Jack. "Sometimes, you have to take the fight to the enemy." As the Defender was pulled into the mothership's docking bay, Jack's team prepared for boarding. They wore light armor and carried both weapons and technical equipment. "Remember," said Jack, "our primary goal is to disable their weapons and shields. Secondary goal is to free any captives. We move fast and stay together." The moment the Defender was secured in the docking bay, armed collectors surrounded it. They expected to find a damaged ship with a helpless crew. Instead, the airlock burst open and the humans came out fighting. Alex led the charge, moving faster than the collectors expected. Their weapons were designed to capture, not kill, which gave the humans an advantage. The stunning beams that would incapacitate most species only slowed the humans down. "They're resistant," shouted a surprised collector guard. Increase power levels, but it was too late. The humans had broken through their line and disappeared into the ship's corridors. Meanwhile, on the Alliance station, Admiral Orb organized the defense teams. He had watched how the human ship fought and tried to apply those tactics to the station's limited defenses. "Concentrate fire on one fighter at a time," he ordered. "Don't spread out your attacks." Director Root had joined the station's medical team, helping treat the injured. When a section of the station was hit and began losing air pressure, Root saw several Alliance security officers hesitate. The decompression would kill them if they entered. Thinking of the humans who had rescued him, Root stepped forward. "Sometimes we must risk ourselves to save others," he said, using emergency breathing equipment to enter the damaged section. Other officers, inspired by his courage, followed. Back on the Collector mothership, Jack's team fought their way toward the main control center. They encountered more resistance as they got closer. "We must be on the right track," said Alex as they took cover from enemy fire. Rose pointed to a side corridor. "Jack, I'm detecting different life signs down there. Lots of them." "More captives," Jack realized. "Rose, can you free them? Alex and I will continue to the control center." Rose nodded and broke away, heading toward the captives. She found a large chamber filled with containment pods, each holding a different alien species. Working quickly, she began shutting down the stasis fields. Jack and Alex reached the control center after a fierce fight. The Collector commander faced them with anger. "You will be the centerpiece of our collection, humans," it threatened. "Sorry to disappoint you," said Jack, "but we're not here to be collected." With Alex providing cover fire, Jack accessed the main control system. His time studying Alliance technology helped him understand the Collector systems, which use similar principles. "Weapons offline," he announced as he overrode their security. "Shields disabled, and sending all their research data to the Alliance." The commander lunged at him, but Alex intercepted, showing the superior strength that came from evolving on a high-gravity world. Across the mothership, Rose had freed dozens of captives. Some had been prisoners for years. They were weak but determined to escape. "Follow me," she told them. "We have a ship." Jack contacted Max. "Start the engines. We're coming back with guests." "Already ready, Captain," replied Max. "The Collectors didn't even understand half our systems. They never disabled the Defender." As alarms blared throughout the mothership, Jack's team and the freed captives fought their way back to the docking bay. The Collector guards were in disarray, without direction from their command center. On the Alliance station, Admiral Orb was shocked to see the Collector fighters suddenly lose power. The mothership's shields flickered and failed. "Their weapons are offline," he exclaimed. "The humans did it." The Alliance defense team seized the opportunity, capturing the disabled Collector ships. Without the mothership's control, the Collector forces couldn't coordinate their attacks. The Defender blasted free from the mothership's docking bay, carrying Jack's team and all the freed captives. As they pulled away, Jack sent one final message to the Collector commander. "The Alliance isn't alone anymore. Remember that before you try collecting anyone else." The mothership, without weapons or shields, retreated from Alliance space. The attack was over. When the Defender returned to the station, the humans were not met with fear, but with cheers. Alliance citizens lined the docking area, wanting to see the Deathworlders who had saved them. Ambassador Trell welcomed Jack with a formal bow. "Captain, the Alliance owes you and your crew a debt we can never repay." "No debt," said Jack simply. "That's not why we helped." Admiral Orb approached Jack with newfound respect. "I was wrong about humans," he admitted. "I thought your evolution on a dangerous world made you a threat. I didn't realize it also made you protectors." The Alliance Council convened a special session. With the Collector threat exposed and defeated, they had important decisions to make. "I propose we formally end the Earth Containment Protocol," announced Admiral Orb, "and extend an invitation to humanity to join the Alliance as full members." The vote was unanimous. For the first time, humans would be welcomed among the stars not as dangerous outsiders, but as valued allies. As Jack accepted the Alliance emblem from Ambassador Trell, he smiled at his crew. They had changed everything today. Humans were no longer feared but respected. Their strength, once seen as threatening, was now recognized as a shield for those who needed protection. "This is just the beginning," Jack told the assembly. "Humanity has much to offer the Alliance, and we're looking forward to a future among the stars, together."